Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of the Super Buff Tower series. This time we'll be super buffing the Blooncineration. Now Blooncineration is a pretty interesting tier 5. I think it is a pretty kind of fun tower overall. I just kind of think Mortar in general is just kind of pretty fun overall. Although I don't really use it just because I will admit it is pretty hard to use in kind of a real game. Especially like for, let's say, like Chimps mode for example. Just because the save up for Blooncineration is pretty brutal. Now hopefully I kind of farmed hard enough to be able to afford Blooncineration because it is like $50,000, $40,000. I guess it's $50,000 if you include the tier 4 Shattering Shells, which is like $10,000 I believe on medium mode. Anyways, the map I chose was Resort, or is Resort. It's because I figured that this kind of little, I guess, square here would probably be a good spot to kind of put the Wall of Fire come late game. Or I guess not really late game, just like in general. Alright, so after selling everything, we have 49,000. Selling that, we have 50,000. I mean, if we are able to get Blooncin, we basically win, yeah. Crosspathing, I think top path is the better crosspath, I believe. Although, again, I don't really use Blooncin too much to, I guess, notice, but yeah. But this should clear out this tier easily, and the good thing about Wall of Fire is that because of how much damage it does, it basically can take care of the Sermacluster on its own, so we don't really need to worry about it. You know, if we didn't have Blooncineration for this tier, I feel like just kind of doing this with Shattering Shells would be pretty difficult. I won't say impossible, but it would definitely take a long time. I do kind of wish that Blooncineration did have use in, I guess, a real kind of boss scenario, but alas. The high HP of elite bosses makes it not really ideal. Anyways, the good thing about it is we have a lot of money after selling it. We're back up to 59,000, which is what we kind of had at the beginning of tier 1. So I guess that is pretty nice. Able to kind of afford overclocked BRF plus kind of the general defense after this, which is D-Breath plus Alchemist. Alright, so because of how good tier 1 is, we're actually able to afford B-Scent pretty early. I was able to kind of keep my BRF on the field, which is huge. Pretty huge. Farming on, or I guess for normal bosses, you know, essentially I have so many lives to kind of tank for early game. I really can kind of get pretty ahead in farms in general. As well as the fact that I do believe normal is on medium, whereas the other one, elite, is on hard. Anyways, I bought Jones for this, just because I was kind of limited in the heroes I could use. This week's Lich had very little limited hero selection, and so I figured that the best hero for this is probably Jones. I would have chose Benjamin if I could, but alas I can't, so we're stuck with Jones. Guess I should probably get him down, although I don't really know where I want him, to where I want to put like Blooncin late game. Guess it doesn't really matter, I think maybe here is fine. So I don't really see a reason why Blooncin can't really work again for tier 2. So if I just give it like moderate buffs, I feel like Blooncin should be able to do this. So I guess let's just kind of play and find out. I mean, it's only like 70,000, which isn't really a ton. Also, I got middle crosspath here because, well, I forgot. So my meat's kind of force of habit. I think I will get crippled because I do believe that the Wall of Fire does get buffed quite a bit by damage adders, because I think the Wall of Fire doesn't really do a ton of damage. I think it's just like kind of the same as like a regular Wall of Fire. Maybe just like maybe a little bit higher pierce, or maybe like 1 or 2 extra damage. But yeah, just kind of a moderately buffed Blooncin with kind of cripple helping is able to pretty much melt this boss. Which is a bit surprising, actually. Blooncineration kind of flew under the radar when it kind of came to just general boss damage. It only took 2 rounds to beat this. Right, so I think we officially achieved infinite money glitch. Now, I think I could afford True Sun God right now if I sold everything, but I think I'll kind of keep that under wraps for now. Just kind of see how fast we can melt tier 3. Let me just finish everything off with Cripple Mob here. Alright, perfect. And I think I'll just kind of leave Blooncin in this square because I think that's where it's going to be doing most damage anyways. Even though it is going to take a little bit while for Bloonaries to actually get in range, I think it's alright. Alright, so we got pretty much every buff here, kind of except the True Sun God and all that other jazz. We did get, I did power level Striker to level 20, so we do get that nice double damage. That definitely will kind of come in handy. I am kind of curious to see whenever kind of homeland comes up next. I think I will see how it is. So if I do this, double damage. Yeah, that is really fast. Look at that. That's like, yeah, it's literally melting Bloonarius. That is what is happening right here. So I guess Blooncin does kind of live up to its name of being Blooncineration. It really does incinerate the balloons. I'm sure Gwendolyn would be very proud. Alright, so for tier 4, I think it's going to be kind of more or less the same. We do have True Sun God here. And I'm guessing that on Resort, I guess there's a little bit of a weird, I guess, interaction, I guess you could call it, where if you put True Sun God kind of as high as it can, it kind of bugs out, because as you can see, the actual True Sun God isn't showing, it's just the platform. I guess that is a little neat bit of trivia. Let me use double damage now that Homeland is active, and let's see how we are here. Definitely a lot slower than 163, no surprise there. It kind of feels like double damage didn't really kind of do a whole lot there. But I guess that does make sense since it's only like doubling the base damage of Blooncineration, not, even after all these buffs, I don't think it's getting double damage added after all the buffs are applied. But regardless, expected more, but I think we will be able to do this. Also, thankfully the cooldown for double damage is pretty fast with Energizer on the field. And that was surprisingly fast. I think the only other tower that I think did this good was kind of Sun Avatar, when I did that like a long time ago. Alright, so I just kind of realized that last year I didn't even have Cripple Mob or Super Brittle on the field, so I guess that was a +9 damage loss I was losing. Or I guess it would be +10 now since we have Embrittlement 2. Embrittlement and Super Brittle does stack, I believe, unless they patched that. I don't think they did. But anyways, let's just see how tier 5 is. Kind of expecting the same thing as tier 4. Except just a tad bit slower. Also, I think I'm just going to tech bot Jones's double damage whenever I can. Even though this does now mean that Jones now just going to be shooting his concussive shell every time, so having to listen to that is going to be pretty annoying, though thankfully you guys can't hear it. Anyways, definitely is going to be this. Let's see kind of how it is now that Super Brittle is in range. And I think with Brittle in range, it's definitely a lot faster now. Not really as fast as it was before, but we don't have double damage up yet, although that's coming up pretty soon. Although it's going to be kind of mistimed with Homeland is the bad part about it. Alright, so we have double damage and Homeland, and DPS is still pretty slow. I guess Blooncineration did kind of lose steam after tier 3. But it's not really too much of a surprise now, is it? Like I've said many times, the kind of best towers to super buff are those that have many projectiles but do low damage. Like let's say Sun Avatar, Destroyer, or any other towers that I can't really think of off the top of my head. Anyways, let's make sure we beat this bad here. Perfect. Well, I guess the good thing about Jones stalling the rounds with Concussive Shell is that we don't have to worry about time, as not a single round has passed since Bloonarius has spawned in. Since we have like no damage on them. That's actually kind of a bad thing because we're not getting overclock buffs anymore, I just kind of realized. Since you can only use Ultra Boost like what, like 3 times per round now? I just realized that. So we're actually losing out on a bit of damage with not having Ultra Boost up all the time. Hopefully we can pop all these balloons here. Alright, thank you Jones for stalling the rounds. Wouldn't need it, but yeah, that was Super Buff Blooncineration with 11.6 million pops, no surprise there. Wonder how much Jones got. Only 162,000 for like permanently stalling around 120 there. But yeah, that was Super Buff Blooncineration. If you have any other suggestions for any other towers that I haven't done yet, feel free to leave them down below in the comments.